All of our productions at GCTV are brought to you in part by People's United Bank, 45 Federal Street in Greenfield. Call them at 774-3713 or visit them online at peoples.com. C&S Wholesale Grocers is hiring in Hatfield and Brattleboro. Go to weselectthebest.com or click on the link at gctv.org for employment opportunities. The Arbors at Greenfield, assisted living community providing a unique balance of independence and personal care that offers residents and families the most precious gift of all, peace of mind. The Hammond Family. The Hammond Family are longtime supporters of Greenfield Community Television. New Fortune Chinese Restaurant on the Mohawk Trail in Greenfield. Visit them online at newfortunema.com and check them out on Facebook. Greenfield Community College, providing access and excellence in higher education in the Pioneer Valley. gcc.mass.edu. Greenfield Savings Bank. Visit them at 400 Main Street in Greenfield. Call them at 774-3191 or go online to greenfieldsavings.com. Franklin Community Co-op. Visit them at 144 Main Street in Greenfield or go online to franklincommunity.coop. Bay State Health, providing the care you and your family need when you need it close to home. Visit them online at baystatehealth.org. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting all the productions at Greenfield Community Television.
So I'd like to have one of our town councilors come up and give you a quick welcome while we're having the band set up.
Just come up and say hi.
One of our re-elected town councilors here, Isaac Mass. Thank you all for coming out today. Penny Ricketts is here too. Where's Penny? You want to give a wave to Penny Ricketts on the town council? You know, we're so happy to be in Greenfield where people come out rain or shine to support our veterans. Thank you all for being here. I'm not going to give a long speech. I just want to welcome you and encourage you to continue to come to the Elks and the other events throughout our community today to honor our veterans. And we'll see you on Memorial Day and next Veterans Day as well. Thanks, Isaac. And thanks, Penny, for coming out today. Give a couple minutes for the band to set up, and then we'll have them play the national anthem. Well, stuff will be a little disorganized today, obviously, because of the rain. So our color guard got messed up, and our firing detail couldn't fire in the rain.
They couldn't fire in the rain? We did. We fired
well, whenever the band's ready, we'll have you play the national anthem. Again, the band, you guys can go back on the bus there and get yourself dried out up there. Thank you for coming out, especially on a raw day like today. Today we'd like to talk about volunteering. We have a lot of volunteers came out here to help us. We have several groups that have came out to participate with us today from across the county. We've got the Marine Corps, the Oak Ridge Detachment that's headquartered in Berniston. We've got the VFW post out of Deerfield. They help us out all the time. We've got the DAV group here today too. They help us all the time. And the last group that we'll talk about is called Veterans Network United, a fairly new group that's a spin-off from GCC, and you'll hear about them. We have a lot of volunteers here today. We have volunteers that come into our office and help us out all the time. Like our first speaker, Dee Brooks. She spends countless hours volunteering in our office, helping veterans and their dependents do their resumes, their cover letters, and look for employment. So Dee, if you could come up and say a few words, please.
Real short.
Thank you, Ken. Elected official, Ken and the staff of the Upper Pioneer Valley Veterans Service here in Greenfield, our esteemed veterans and members of our community. Good morning and welcome to today's ceremony, and thank you for attending. I am honored to be speaking to you today on such a significant occasion. We are here today to honor our veterans and to remember their sacrifices they have made and the gallantry it takes to defend and honor our country. They have shown courage, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity. This shows all the moral fiber needed to serve a reason larger than oneself. To all the veterans here today, thank you. To your families, we thank you. To the veterans who are not here today and their families, we also want to acknowledge your service and sacrifices. And to our wonderful community, thank you for supporting these men and women. Our veterans did not go to war because they love the warfare. The service members we honor today came from all walks of life. They are everyday people who took action in incredible ways and in difficult times. But not every veteran has seen combat, of course. But even in peacetime, they face dangers that most other Americans never know, like hazardous night training missions or providing relief supplies after a natural disaster. These are just a few. These missions all come with elements of risk. They all answer to the nation's call because they wanted to protect the nation which has given them and us so much. We honor our veterans today because we know that without them, there would be no land of the free. War gives us an awful paradox. It brings out both the worst and the best of mankind. Our veterans know only too well the evil side of humanity, whether it was the horrors of the Nazi concentration camps that were liberated by Allied troops, or the atrocities inflicted on our soldiers and airmen in the POW camps in Korea and in Vietnam. But I cannot help but think of the families that were torn apart in those foreign lands. Could you imagine if this happened to us in the United States of America? Our men and women served and helped them. When my late husband was in Vietnam, he saved a child from drinking the soda when he noticed that there was glass in it. It's small, but there are many stories like that. We must hear them, and at the same time, they count for this reason that American veterans are both warriors and humanitarians. Our veterans have missed the birth of their children, wedding anniversaries, and graduations. They have spent holidays in the soggy rice puddles in Vietnam or amid the singing sands of the Iraqi desert or in the cold, rugged mountains of Eastern Europe. Today, our troops continue to make the utmost sacrifices. And even as we lose troops, more Americans step forward to say, I am ready to serve. And they follow in the footsteps of generations of fine Americans. The 9/11 generation volunteered to serve at a time of war, at a time that our nation was endangered as it was attacked. But these young men and women have a strong desire to continue making a difference in this world. And I am here to tell you that I am the daughter of a World War II Army veteran, the wife of a Vietnam vet who paid the price with Agent Orange, the daughter-in-law of a World War II Navy veteran, and finally, I am a mother whose son served 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan with the USMC. And I am proud of all of them. I volunteer once a week at the Upper Pioneer Valley Service Office. My main focus is working with veterans and job placement. They don't need a handout or a handout. They just want the opportunity to continue proving themselves. And it falls on us to make sure that they get that opportunity. That is the opportunity that too many veterans have been denied in the past. So, to our veterans, if you need services, please come to the office that is across the street. To the families of active servicemen and women, please feel free to come in also, as I have many, many resources for you. To those who are widowed, there are many services available to you, so please feel free to come in. So on Veterans Day and every day, we should thank them and hear their stories. Let us honor our veterans by creating new opportunities for them. That is, new opportunities for them to contribute after their service in uniform so they can continue to help make a better world. They do continue to help us. You know why? Because our veterans still have our back. And I would like to share a true story with you. At one of our local colleges, a student fell to the ground or to the floor and was experiencing a seizure. Out of all the students in that class, four students came to his aid. Those 4 students were veterans. Not only did they know what to do, but they stayed with him and helped the EMTs until he was in the ambulance. Now it is our time that we have their back. We can also honor our veterans by teaching future generations about what it means to be an American. We must take care of veterans and their families. We all must vote in the election. And finally, we must continue to try to make America the very best it can be. And I would like to conclude with a quotation from George Washington's speech to the Connecticut troops before their enlistment ran out during the siege of Boston in 1775. Your exertions in the cause of freedom, guided by wisdom and animated by zeal and courage, have gained you the love and confidence of your grateful countrymen. And they look to you, who are experienced veterans, and trust that you will be the guardians of America. More human glory and happiness may depend upon your exertions than ever yet depended upon any sons of men. He that is a soldier in defense of such a cause needs not titles. His post is a post of honor, and although not an emperor, yet he shall wear a crown of glory, and blessed will be his memory. To our veterans, blessed will be your memory. Thank you all for attending today. God bless you and your families. God bless our troops, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. So we'll keep moving right along here. Some of you may have read in the paper we had a local group along with the VFW, Home Depot, Marcus Farms, Tire Warehouse, help a World War II widow out down in Deerfield. And the group that really took the lead on that was Veterans Network United. I'd like to have their president come up and say a few words, Mike Brusco.
Good morning, everybody, and I want to thank you all for coming out on this. Celebration of Veterans Day. The weather's kind of nasty, but we'll all get through this, I'm sure. I want to thank all the veterans, family members, and all who support our veterans. This Veterans Day is set aside each year on November 11th to honor all American veterans, both living and fallen. In fact, Veterans Day is largely intended to thank the living veterans for dedicated and loyal service to their country. This day is to ensure that veterans know that we deeply appreciate the sacrifices they have made in their lives to keep this country free. I'd just like to find out who all out here is veterans. They either World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, peacetime. I want to thank you all very much for your service and I commend you all. Thank you. To all the families and loved ones out there, we could not have done it without you. Thank you for your love and support throughout our endeavors. Thank you for your cards, letters, care packages that kept us going while we were away. For it was you that gave us the strength and determination to carry on. Knowing you were there, standing by our side, waiting for us to return home, meant so much. Showing us love and compassion when we returned will forever be remembered. We thank you so much for your love and sacrifice. I want to talk about 5 ways that we can honor veterans beyond Veterans Day. I know this special day has been set aside, but this is something that we should do all year long. One of the things out there is there's a stereotype with most veterans that either fall into the group of the crying wounded or even the guy that jumped the White House fence. Don't want to be treated like victims. We're not broken. Some of us have been through a lot, but we will rise out of it. Each veteran has a unique story. Our military service has shaped us in profound ways, but we are not the sum total of that time. Take time to really get to know a veteran. We have a lot of lessons to share. Also, invest in veterans because it's good business. One of the biggest hurdles service members face after leaving military is finding a job. Veterans are trustworthy, hardworking and loyal, disciplined, and have an impressive work ethic. And they are at the core of most veterans. We can also help the veterans' families. During recent deployments during these 2 wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, lasting more than a decade, a lot of families have been put through financial and emotional stress. Do not be afraid to ask if there's anything you can do for them. Even by asking means, and it shows that you care. Also, volunteering. Volunteering with veterans programs, which I will speak a little bit more on here in just a minute. Also, we can pressure the Department of Veterans Affairs. By putting aside all the politics involved in many of the veteran agencies, there is a newfound push to get veterans the help they need in many areas. We all can do our part by writing our members of Congress and urge them to make the recent promises given to veterans a priority. Everyone in this country, beyond us, beyond veterans, must make sure that the people who can fix the VA stick to their promises and make it happen. These are just a few ways we can all make a difference. If each one of us took the time to just touch the life of one veteran and or their family, the possibilities are endless. One of the big problems we face is veterans are coming back now and they're struggling. If you know a veteran who is struggling, show them that you care. Talk with them and listen to what they have to say. Reach out to veteran service organizations for help options. If you are a veteran who is struggling, find someone you trust. Open up and talk about it. You are not alone, and chances are your situation is not unique. Ask for help. Get involved. Which brings me to the volunteer part. I can speak for myself and for many of the other members of Veterans Network United. One of the questions that's asked a lot of times is, are you the group that came from the college? Well, yes, we are. But all of us have graduated, and we had decided that we wanted to continue service to the community and to those around us. So we started this organization. It has touched my heart, and I think touched the hearts of everyone involved. There's nothing like giving to our community and to our fellow members here. I think as soldiers, that's part of our DNA. We're a giving sort, and in keeping up with that after we get out, I feel is very important, and I think it really helps to get out of ourselves and it helps the mind. It really does. With that, I encourage any veteran out there, whether it's the local VFW, the local Legion, any organization out there, get involved in your community. Our organization, we're a grassroots organization. We just started. We welcome anyone who is willing to give time, service, whatever they want. We just, as was mentioned earlier, we just got done with a project for the widow of a veteran. There was quite a group of people out there, and I can tell you right now, not only the woman that we did the work for, but every member that was out there working was touched in a very unique way. It was something special, and it can only be felt if you go out there and experience it. So I highly encourage that. In honor of the veterans, for those who have served in the armed forces of the United States of America, we are eternally grateful. For the lost sons and daughters of war, we can only swear on our sacred honor that we will never forget their courageous sacrifice and pray that theirs will be the last. Though war is not intrinsically a noble and honorable endeavor, it is those who rise to the challenge and engage in it for the greater good that makes it so. They are all of us. We are they. When one of them dies or is missing, our resolve is strengthened by the loss equal to the degree that the soldier is honored and remembered by we who remain alive and free. So it is our patriotic duty to honor those who have been lost in service of our country and never allow them to be forgotten. To those brave soldiers who fought but have not returned and whose fate is only known to God, we must pledge together to them and their families to remember them each day and to do everything in our power to speak on their behalf, to find them and return them to their own soil, living and dead alike. For those who have served honorably and returned alive, we celebrate the opportunity to welcome them home and thank them for their service, for they are the ones who at any age, when life is boundless and experience limited, leave their homes and families and travel to foreign lands to take up arms on our behalf. Too soon, they become aware that victory, honor, and their very survival require more of them than they ever dreamed. No amount of training has prepared them for what they must endure, and yet they stay noble. They obey, they endure, they fight on, they survive. When finally they return home, they are forever changed. When finally, some outwardly, some in other ways. Now we must do no less than thank and honor them for doing what some could not, and welcome them home as the heroes they have become. To do less diminishes us all. Thank you, everyone, for coming out again, and happy Veterans Day.
Thanks, Mike. So again, the theme there is volunteer or join your local veterans organization. The Marine Corps League, DAV, VFW, American Legion, or Mike's group here. Most of these are headquartered throughout the county here. So normally on Veterans Day, 11th month, 11th day at the 11th hour, we would celebrate a moment of silence, but as we're trying to move along here, if you'll join me in a moment of silence now to honor the veterans who are not here today, and then we'll place the wreath and we'll play the tap. So please join me in a moment of silence. VFW, if you can place the wreath, please.
I guess so. Yep.
And we're playing on the taps. color guard, if you want to retire the colors now, please. And as our color guard retires the colors again, very miserable day, but I appreciate everybody that's come out today. Remind you that there's some hot cider over here, and at the Elks Club, you can go get yourself a hot coffee. And please, some of you younger guys, we've got some older folks here today with the mud and the slipperiness. Can you please help some of our older veterans get back to their vehicles? And again, I really appreciate everybody coming out on a miserable day like today. Thank you.
All of our productions at GCTV are brought to you in part by People's United Bank, 45 Federal Street in Greenfield. Call them at 774-3713 or visit them online at peoples.com. C&S Wholesale Grocers is hiring in Hatfield and Brattleboro. Go to weselectthebest.com or click on the link at gctv.org for employment opportunities. The Arbors at Greenfield, assisted living community providing a unique balance of independence and personal care that offers residents and families the most precious gift of all, peace of mind. The Hammond Family. The Hammond Family are longtime supporters of Greenfield Community Television. New Fortune Chinese Restaurant on the Mohawk Trail in Greenfield. Visit them online at newfortunema.com and check them out on Facebook. Greenfield Community College, providing access and excellence in higher education in the Pioneer Valley. gcc.mass.edu. Greenfield Savings Bank. Visit them at 400 Main Street in Greenfield, call them at 774-3191, or go online to greenfieldsavings.com. Franklin Community Co-op. Visit them at 144 Main Street in Greenfield or go online to franklincommunity.coop. Bay State Health, providing the care you and your family need when you need it close to home. Visit them online at baystatehealth.org. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting all the productions at Greenfield Community Television.